Welcome to this special Super Bowl edition of the Sideline Report. I'm Marvin Jackson, and joining me to make my job real easy are Barry Barnes, NFL writer with fanhouse.com, and the Redskins historian, Mike Richman. Thanks for joining us, Barry, Mike.
Thanks, Marvin.
My pleasure.
All right, it's Super Bowl week, and you know, it's actually warmer here than it is in Dallas. That's kind of weird, huh?
Oh, yeah. They're in a dome stadium.
Right.
Anyways.
They could have the Super Bowl here this year, actually.
I tell you. Now, let's talk a little bit about the Redskins Super Bowl history. And you are the Redskins historian. Tell us a little bit about those glory days of the Redskins Super Bowl days.
Well, you mentioned that the two teams in this year's Super Bowl, the Packers and the Steelers, are storied franchises. The Redskins are a storied franchise as well. They've won 3 Super Bowls in their history, have played in a total of 5. And they actually have 5 total NFL championships when you include the 2 back in the Sammy Baugh days. But the 3 they won were during the first Joe Gibbs era from 1981 through 1992, his first coaching stint here, Super Bowl 17, 22, and 26. The last was in the 1991 season. It's hard to believe it's been nearly 2 decades since the Redskins last won a Super Bowl. There are about 15 teams in the NFL that have never won a Super Bowl, but we're just dying for the Redskins to win another one. It's been such a long time.
Yeah, a guy I know said he has a son who's about 18 now, and he's never seen a Redskins Super Bowl, you know.
Yep.
And he keeps telling him, it's coming, you know.
He's right. It's definitely
And
coming.
what is it going to take, though? What is it going to take for the Redskins to get back to those glory days?
Well, the best part about the Redskins is that they have the right players and personnel that can build this team back to how it was in the 80s when they was in their glory years. You know, Mike Shanahan basically loved to have a running game, a solid running game. That's how the Redskins won their 3 titles here. You know, with Riggins in the backfield and also being a solid, you know, playing fundamentals type of defense. And that's something that Mike Shanahan will bring to the Redskins. So the only thing is just going to take some patience, going to take some time, let them rebuild starting this season. You know, you're going to have about over 490 free agents this year after the collective bargaining agreement is set, who they can actually go for to be able, you know, to help, you know, start the process here. That's all they have to do is find some speed in the backfield, have that physical running back, make sure they have the right players to play in the system of a 3-4, because we mentioned this before. It's okay to have a 3-4 defense, but you have to have the right personnel, some athletic defenders that can get around the edges, have some guys that will be disciplined enough to play in those zone packages, and also we have 2 good, you know, corners out there as well would be a big help. Anything
you want to add to that? Anything else special?
Barry's comment about patience is absolutely necessary. I think they're on the right track right now. Despite the 6-10 mark in 2010, we saw improvement from the previous season. 2009 was extremely chaotic, the last season under Jim Zorn, but we saw Shanahan instilling that discipline and leadership that the team sorely needed, getting the right guys in there, making the team younger. Entering the 2010 season, the Redskins were the oldest team in the NFL, but we saw as the season went on, they groomed some younger players who fit in, Brandon Banks, Anthony Armstrong, Ryan Terrain stepped it up toward the end of the season. He could be the Redskins running back of the future if he stays healthy. That's that big back that Barry was alluding to. The defense needs a lot of improvement, 31st in the league last season. Got to get guys who can fit into that 3-4 system, fast linebackers. I really think that's what the Redskins need. And they need that pass rush to be fierce.
Right.
They got to put a lot of fear into the quarterbacks.
Right. Okay, so it doesn't just take an owner with a lot of money and passionate fans. It takes more than that, huh?
No, they got to concentrate on the draft.
But you guys are saying patience, though. The fans are saying we've been waiting 20 years.
That's normal. That's normal, and that's the normal reaction that you have for fans. People want to be associated with a winner. So that's normal. That's common. So the fans are going to be fans. Just fans just have to let the personnel at the team actually blossom to what a team is. Now, the best thing is, I would say, as far as we're building a team, you want to, if you have familiarity with some players around the league, like, for instance, with Baltimore, 17, well, now 15 unrestricted free agents. They had 3, you know, old linemen there with Gaither. That's a free agent. You have Chris Chester there, and then also you have Marshall Yonder. And the reason why I bring that out, because Chris Forrest, the Redskins offensive line, line coach. He worked with those guys when he was with Baltimore. He was with Baltimore for 3 years, from 05 to 07. So he's familiar with that.
One of those
so
guys.
You never know. One of those guys may came. That's what happened with Casey Robach, who the Redskins do need a young center there. So it's a good chance that they may, be able to get a quick start by bringing at least 2 of those linemen here. Okay. Because everyone there, they familiar with what, Forrester want to do with the O-line.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit more about Super Bowl history. Well, first, let's talk about the Redskins as far as what they're going to do with the draft. As far as getting back into the Super Bowl, do you think drafting a quarterback at #1 will help them?
Absolutely. I think quarterback needs to be their top priority, despite the fact there are tremendous needs on both the offensive and defensive lines. They've got to draft one of the marquee quarterbacks, or they could even dip into the second round for a quarterback. But with Donovan McNabb looking like he's not going to be the so-called quarterback of the future for the Redskins, I think they're going to try and trade him this offseason. They'll probably use Rex Grossman. They'll re-sign him and use him as like a caretaker quarterback.
For a rookie.
For a rookie quarterback, maybe let Grossman play the first half of the season and then get the rookie in there, because these are not the days of the 80s when you can wait 3 or 4 seasons to develop a quarterback. You've got to get him in there right away.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that today with guys like Sam Bradford, Sanchez, Stafford.
Yeah, it can be done.
Yeah. Right, exactly, because the first thing that comes to my mind is Jake Lockham in Washington. Come from Pac-10. Pac-10 has produced, good quarterbacks so far in the NFL, and coming from that conference, someone there with a big arm who Shanahan may look at and say, this is my type of guy, can get the ball down the field, can buy some time with his legs, which what you need actually with a quarterback when you have an O-line that's still suspect, because you can buy them some time to actually, create a play for the receivers, for Armstrong to get open. So that will actually work very well for the Redskins.
All right.
Definitely a quarterback who's mobile.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. Well, I tell you what, we're going to take a break, but first, Mike Richman, you are the historian, not only of the Redskins, but the NFL. Why don't you share a trivia question with us and see if you can stump me and Barry and the viewers.
All right, guys, I'll do my best. Okay. Other than Ben Roethlisberger and Tom Brady, what non-Hall of Fame quarterback has quarterbacked a team to 2 Super Bowl victories?
Oh, I know. That's Jim Plunkett for the Oakland Raiders.
Oh, well, I think... this guy is really smart, and he was just talking about...
that's his answer, but we need to get the answer when we come back.
You went to a Pac-10 quarterback. You keep talking about Pac-10 guys.
But do I get a lifeline if I'm wrong?
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll take him out to dinner.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll be right back in a moment. We're going to have a special guest coming right up, and we'll get the correct answer to that trivia question. So don't go away. More Sideline Report in just a moment.